Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Rank. I'm the manager of products and risk management with Civmec. Today, we're going to be looking at the auto physical damage program. The auto physical damage went through a bit of a facelift here in 2025. There were a number of things that we looked at within this policy that hadn't been updated for over a decade. First and foremost, we updated and clarified some of the language in the policy itself. We added some language that addressed permanently affixed add-on equipment that in many cases is permanently affixed to a variety of municipal pieces of equipment and automobiles. We looked at updated valuation language and some system updates and VIN validations. So a common question that we get is what's covered by the APD policy, or in other words, the auto physical damage policy that our members have with Civmec. First and foremost, it is collision and comprehensive coverage. So vehicle to vehicle collisions, vehicle to stationary object collisions, or hailstorm, for example, would all be perils that would be covered under the APD policy. So it's covering the physical damage to the vehicles. It has nothing to do with liability. Strictly has to do with the damage and the insured value of the vehicles within your fleet and within your municipality itself. One of the other common questions that we get is what types of vehicles then are not covered? Because we know that our municipalities operate and use a variety of vehicles and pieces of equipment within their day-to-day operations. Off-road equipment and earth-moving equipment generally is not covered and should not be covered by the Civmec Auto Physical Damage Program. This also includes seasonal equipment such as plow blades, salter and sander units, or anything that on a seasonal basis is being attached and detached from the vehicle as needed. In all of those cases, both for earth-moving equipment, any off-road equipment, any non-licensed equipment, those along with its seasonal equipment should be insured with your property carrier. And for most of our members, that is MPIC or the Municipal Property Insurance Company. You would want to make sure you contact them for any backhoes, loaders, graders, chippers, chipper trailers, anything that would not qualify as a licensed on-road vehicle, and those seasonal pieces of equipment should be insured and scheduled with your property carrier. So what then does the auto physical damage or APD policy with Civmec cover? There's really three main buckets of vehicles that are covered on the Civmec APD policy. First and foremost are passenger vehicles. So those, by most rudimentary definition, would be those that are Class D vehicles. So anybody when you turn 16, you get a Class D driver's license and you can drive those vehicles. Those would be the vehicles that would be covered. Their license plate on the back, and doesn't take any special endorsements or licensing or training to necessarily other than getting your driver's license to operate those. Next class of equipment or vehicles, that is, would be something in the policy that's defined as mobile equipment. And we're going to be getting into what that is defined as here a little bit later on. And then, of course, your licensed on-road trailers. Those trailers might be single axle, dual axle, or more for hauling turf equipment around or hauling equipment around. Those types of trailers would also be types of vehicles that could be covered under the auto physical damage program. What I did then is I listed sort of a bullet point list that breaks it down a little bit further for you to give you some context. First and foremost, your fire apparatus and ambulance and rescue vehicles. Any of those specialized response vehicles would be and could be covered, and should be, for that matter, covered under the auto physical damage program. Your refuse and snowplow vehicles, bucket trucks, utility vehicles, public works vac trucks, and other public works vehicles. Of course, your police squads, your patrol vehicles and SWAT trucks, even motorcycles, and of course, licensed trailers. Again, here's just a description when we talk passenger vehicles and trailers. So this gives you a little bit more context. Again, we talked about that graphic to the right where it shows just a series of vehicles, sort of in a parking lot type format, if you will, that looks at really again your Class D vehicles. Those types of vehicles are fine and would be insurable under the auto physical damage program. To the left, then you see a triaxle trailer, primarily for hauling turf equipment or some type of heavy equipment. Those also would be and could be licensed vehicles and would be insured under the auto physical damage program. Then we look at mobile equipment, and this is defined very specifically in the policy and the policy language itself. And this is one of the updates that took place here, just started taking place in 2025. And you'll notice it generally relates to your larger, medium, and heavy duty vehicles. So anything that would be a 16,000 or more pound gross vehicle weight rating vehicle would generally be defined as mobile equipment. So the definition is fairly broad. Again, it could be your plow vehicles, as you see there on the left. It could be something as simple as a Ford F-450 flatbed truck in the middle, or maybe an aerial bucket truck that your utility might have. Any of those would be defined as mobile equipment. Again, licensed on-road vehicles. Some of these might be commercial vehicles. Some of these might be just still Class D vehicles, as in the case of an F-450. And then to further expand on that, I did clip out the actual policy language so you can see how mobile equipment is defined. So again, it's those heavy and medium on-road vehicles with that gross vehicle weight rating of more than 16,000 pounds. We've got a couple bullet points there that give you a little bit more context and detail as the types of vehicles that typically fall into that. And then also fire department vehicles. So one of the other things that we hadn't talked about so far was your specialized response and fire apparatus trucks, pumpers, and ambulance and paramedic vans, and any other specialized response vehicles. Those two main categories do fall within the policies defined as mobile equipment. One other distinction within the policy is that we insure the vehicle itself. So here we have just a Ford Explorer, could drive this right off the lot from a dealer somewhere or right off whoever you're supplying your vehicles to you. It's the cost of the vehicle itself, but in many cases, we know that our members change that vehicle itself and uh, permanently affixed all sorts of add-ons and build up to the vehicle, which might include graphic and lights kits, lifts, cranes in some of our public works vehicles, Tommy gates, push bars, as you see here, suspect containment, and now a lot of technology. So we see a lot of our members putting in and permanently affixing computer and GPS systems and much, much more. Your specific municipality probably has a spec list, probably has a list of permanently affixed add-on equipment that is done by department to meet their specific needs. Those must be reported to CIVMIC on the APD policy. So the vehicle itself is being insured, but then also any permanently affixed add-ons that are reported to us, that significant value that's being attached to the vehicle must also be reported to us. So again, in this case, we're looking at a tandem axle dump truck, probably like your base public works vehicle, and then build up that vehicle. We've got all sorts of add-ons in terms of light kits, graphics. There might be hydraulic specifications and other pneumatics and hydraulic systems that are added to this specific vehicle that would add significantly to the value of that vehicle. And if that vehicle would be involved in some type of loss, that we would want that add-on to that permanently affixed add-on equipment value valued as part of that vehicle. Again, just as a reminder, contractors' equipment. I have just a quick list here. This is not all inclusive. There's much more to this. But when you look at, again, chipper trailers, lawnmowers, turf equipment, tar kettles, street sweepers, ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, graders, tractors, backhoes, drones and excavators, and more. These are very, very common examples of things that you should talk to your property carrier about, namely MPIC. If you have these, and many of you do, most all of you do, make sure that you are scheduling these appropriately with your property carrier and removing these if they are on your schedule with auto physical damage. And as always, service first, insurance always. Thank you for your time.